In this final video, we are going to be discussing response validation. To make your Google form an escape room, you must use response validation so that students cannot move on to the next task until they have first completed the previous one. In this example, there are 5 tasks, and with the exception of the first task, all the rest need response validation. So in section 2, the students need to find the answers to 1, 2, and 3, and then descramble the letters that they get. Alright, so in answering these questions, the students should find for number 1, E, for number 2, A, and for number 3, S. When they descramble these 3 letters, they get the answer to the riddle up on the top, and that is C. So to make sure that they get that answer to move on to the next task, what you're going to do is click down here and click Response Validation. With Response Validation, Google Forms allows for 4 different types of response validation. Click here, you can see those 4: number, text, length, and regular expression. The 2 that are used most common with escape rooms are going to be number and text. For this one, we want our students to answer with a specific text. So we're going to hit text. And that next you can choose between what you want in your text: contains, doesn't contain, email, or URL. For this one, we are going to use contains because we want students to give this exact answer. All right, then we will type in our answer. And finally, in this is a error message that comes up if students get it wrong. You can simply say try again to let students know that their answer is not correct, or you can use this space to provide a hint. In this escape room, sometimes students forget to descramble the letters, so I just added a hint: descramble the letters to create a common word to help them if they are struggling. When your answer is a number, like the ones in our timeline task, your options are a bit different. So here we have number, and for number they give you many different options. You can have the answer fit into a range, be less than a certain number, equal to a certain number, between a certain number, a whole number, lots of different options. For this one, we want the students to get the exact number, so we're going to hit equal to. The number that we are looking for is 1783. When the students work out their timeline on the top here, they will place Lexington and Concord, Battle of Bunker Hill, Battle of Long Island, and the Continental Army Winters of Valley Forge, and that will spell out their code on the top, 1783. If they get this wrong, I provided a hint. This is a significant number, year, during the Revolutionary War, to kind of give them a little bit more direction if they are struggling. You should insert a response validation for each question included in the form. At the end of each task, then select what sections students will go to next. This is chronological unless you change it, so you can control which task they will go to next. You may also use multiple response validations in a task, like I did in this one here. In this task, the students must get each of these right before moving on. So they need to type in an answer, and you would have to do a response validation for each of these questions. When finished, make sure that you do a test run yourself to make sure that the correct answers bring you through the escape rooms and to the end. By hitting this preview button in the corner, you can see exactly what students see, and you can go through the form and complete the escape room yourself. and see what your students see. So for example, if I got this written correct, you can see the hint right there. And then move on and go through each of the answers. These will pop up incorrect as students go through as well. So the students will get immediate feedback as to whether or not their answers are correct or incorrect. Consider when students are finished with the escape rooms, you can consider a prize. It's fun to have students take a picture like you might see at a typical escape room once they escape. And you can have a bulletin board with escape room pictures. If you have students who can't finish it, you can encourage them to do it in groups, or there's lots of different options to make the escape rooms a learning opportunity for your students.